sports fans to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything to smack talk and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the Sports Nerd joins forces with three charismatic co-hosts who are a select group of sports nerds with attitude, better known in Nerd Nation as the Rampant. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am your host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? And along with my co-host, Elliot Big E Lamba, Bills Mafia member John G. Olson, and Ken Go Cowboys Costello. We will discuss the week that was in the world of sports. We are live each and every Sunday night on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and when it's working, which it hasn't worked for a couple months, the blockchain courtesy of Vim.tv.
Don't hold your breath, man.
I know, I'm not holding my breath on that.
That ain't coming back anytime soon. They're looking
I know.
for
If
money.
you missed the live broadcast, you can watch the replays on Spotify, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and on the blockchain via PD.
That's a better way to do it.
Hey, they're on the blockchain milk carton right now.
They're on the blockchain milk carton for sure.
You know what the problem is, don't you? Dak Prescott's doing commercials for blockchain.
Right.
Oh, yes, yeah.
That gives you all the credibility you need.
So, hey, Anthony, how you doing?
How's it going, Anthony?
Hi, Anthony.
Guys, how we doing this week? We all good? Brian,
I'm doing
John,
fantastic.
good?
I
Ken,
had
good?
a very enjoyable weekend because I didn't have to stress out today.
Well, Thursday night was
That's
good.
right, because Thursday night was a good night for you.
Very good. I enjoyed
good.
it tremendously.
Only setback for me is I sat Gabe Davis.
Yeah, he had a nice game.
Killed me.
No, I just came out of a cold drizzle, so
A cold drizzle?
cold drizzle. It is getting to be winter here.
Yeah, well, you know. What can I say?
Yeah, I know. I got to stand out in it tomorrow.
So we're week 8. Is this week 8? Is that right?
Dude,
Am I right?
I was gonna tweet you, like,
Me?
about 20 minutes ago. I was gonna checking in on Scott to see how he's doing. You didn't jump off a cliff or anything yet.
No, I didn't jump off a cliff. What the benefit of them being at a 4:00 time is that I get a lot of the game from Red Zone because it's only 4 games in the second window. So I got to see a lot of what was going on with the Browns. The defense played out of its mind again as usual. I mean, of course, they allowed 17 points in the first quarter or first half or whatever it was, but they turned up the pressure after that. PJ Walker,
On that last drive.
he's a friggin' he I can't say too much bad about PJ Walker, and the reason I say that is because he kept the Browns offense in the game. He made a lot of good plays, but on that last drive, the Browns passed it and they should have run it, like 3rd and 3, whatever it was, 3rd and 3.
That's play calling. That's got none.
And that's on Stefanski as far as the play calling is concerned. I feel like they should have ran the ball instead of throwing it, and when they threw it, it was picked off, and that was what allowed the Seahawks to drive the field and win the game.
And if they
had chosen to run the ball at that point and didn't make it, they could have punted it down and got them way back, and they would have had to gone 80 yards to win the game, and that would have been a much better scenario. But it is what it is. So.
And if I may, you can't say really anything about PJ Walker because he's the best quarterback you got right now.
I think he's even better than Deshaun Watson at this point with his shoulder.
Even when Watson is healthy, I think he's better than Watson.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just, you guys know I'm not a big Deshaun Watson fan because of what's going on off the field. So PJ Walker has done a very valiant job during Deshaun's injury. He's 2-1. He hasn't made a lot of major mistakes, but today was disappointing because they had the lead with 2 minutes left to go in the game and they blew it. So I mean,
The
it's
downside for your team is that Deshaun Watson will come back sooner or later. And that's going to destroy any chemistry that the Browns have built under PJ Walker.
Yep, I'm with you on that. So,
So,
but regardless, the Browns are 4-3. It's a good thing that I'm glad the Steelers lost today. However, both the Bengals and the Ravens won, so we're tied with the Bengals, but we've got the lead because of we beat them week 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like the Browns are going to be in second place in the division after this week, which I'm happy for. So we'll see what happens. It is what it is.
So Ravens
the
are still
season's not even halfway over yet. So there's plenty of time left to get. And you know what? They're playing good football. They're not playing bad football. They're always in the games that they're playing. So I'm pretty happy with the way they've been playing. So there's that. John, let's go back to Thursday night. Let me ask you. You say you listen to all the podcasts.
Yeah.
What is the deal with Josh Allen's shoulder?
He's fine.
What's
He's
wrong
fine.
with it?
He's just sore, man. He's sore. He's okay.
He's sore from throwing the ball, man, because they ain't running it that much anymore.
Yeah, no, he's fine. It's like this 10-day mini bye that they have is going to do wonders for him, and they're going to need it against Cincy. I mean, Cincy's looking like a beast now.
Right.
But he's fine. It's just, dude. It's Josh Allen, man. Like he gets bumps and bruises all season long, plays through it, and it's just, I don't know. Like he played fine to me. I mean, yeah, the interception, but that was like a tip ball, so it's like whatever. But he looked fine to me.
I think still the defense is kind of suspect for Buffalo, if anything.
Well, yeah. Well, look how many people they don't have now. Like they've lost 4 main guys, and 3 of them were all pros.
Yeah.
So that's what needs to happen on trade deadline. They need to. Everyone was like, "Oh, the offense." Look at the offense is fine. You just got to use the guys you got. Don't just rely on Steph. Like spread it out. Like Shakir is a beast. Like Dalton Kincaid is the reason you.
Kincaid had a great. That was a great catch for a touchdown Thursday night.
Oh, dude, he's a beast. He's amazing.
I got him on my team. I picked him up off the waiver wire. So
yeah,
he did good for me.
He's great. So yeah, it's not the offense is the problem.
Look, here's the thing, and I heard different so-called experts and whatever they call them. Okay.
Talking heads, dude.
Is the thing about Josh Allen is you can't put him in a position where he has to think. You have to put him in a position where he can just be himself. Okay? Let him do the Josh Allen things. When you try to restrict him, like I saw a sign in the Buffalo crowd, "Run, Josh, run." It's like, let the man do his thing because this is what he does.
Yeah.
When the defenses have to worry about him running, that opens up his passing game. You see what I'm saying? And I think that if they let Josh be Josh, like you always say, John,
just let him be it.
Josh be Josh, and they'll be fine. It's that defense.
That's the thing with the talking heads is they look for things to just criticize him about, and it's no different with anybody else. I mean, they do the same thing with Dak. They do the same thing with Deshaun Watson. They do the same thing with. They're beginning to do the same thing with Brock Purdy now.
They got They got great reason to do it on Deshaun Watson because
he's that, but they're beginning to do the same thing with Brock Purdy now. 49ers are turning the ball over more in the last 3 weeks than they have every time.
When you haven't thrown an interception and then all of a sudden you throw 5 in 3 games,
right?
You're going to get questioned.
Yeah.
Okay. Do NFL teams use connecting flights when they travel?
I guess I don't know.
Connecting flights. What do you mean, Elliot?
Because I think that the San Francisco team that beat Dallas, they got lost on the connecting flight.
Yeah, they must have. They haven't won a game since, have they?
If you'll notice the NFL picture behind me,
yeah,
all the teams, The only one you don't see is the 49ers. They've disappeared from that too.
Well, they've lost 3 in a row now, hasn't he, Elliot?
Well, yes, they have, and a lot of it has to do with the turnovers that they weren't committing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and because it ain't got nothing to do with McCaffrey. It ain't got nothing to do with maybe the defense has been letting up lately. Okay, because they have been giving up, more points to the
Excuse me.
and it has nothing to do with Ayuk. They might miss Debo some. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm sure they do.
And Kittle's been playing great. It's the turnovers and having the defense having to spend more time on the field than they need to. Because when you commit turnovers, that puts your defense on the field longer, tires them out, and towards the end of the game, they're kind of like spent. So, again, right now they're on that same milk carton. You know what I'm saying? That I'm trying to find them. I have no idea. I have no idea where they are. I think they might have got lost on the connecting flight to Cleveland after
Right.
that. So.
Well, and to be honest, there were a lot of significant injuries today. Most of the quarterbacks.
Kirk Cousins was the most significant.
Kirk Cousins, if you guys saw the replay,
it's over.
He ruptured his Achilles.
It's over for Minnesota. This season is done.
The Minnesota season is over with.
Yes. They have.
All they have to back up Cousins is a rookie, and he didn't.
And even if Jefferson comes back, that's not going to make a difference because Cousins was leading the league in touchdown passes. He's the one that drives that offense. If you think about it, he's the one that's made Jordan Addison. He's the one that's made Justin Jefferson. He's the one that's put that passing game kind of on the same trajectory as back in the day when Dan Fouts did with the San Diego Chargers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was all pass, because their running game is definitely weak. Okay, Cam Akers and Madison are not exactly burning up the score sheet. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's a sad thing. What's ironic is that he tore his Achilles. I wonder what Mike Greenberg's going to say tomorrow because he was pushing to get Kirk Cousins, and now he tore his Achilles just like Aaron Rodgers did.
Greenberg is the gift that keeps giving.
Oh my God!
I heard I was driving today and I was listening to the Sirius XM and they made a really good point on fantasy radio. They're like, if you think about it, so Kirk Cousins is done for the season for sure. Like Matt Stafford got his hand busted up or something. Like he got pulled. Yeah, like PJ Walker was starting.
He hit a helmet twice in the game, and
right. So like
either broken or dislocated or whatever.
This is going to be for certain teams, for a big chunk of teams in the NFL. The quarterback play is going to take a massive dive. There's not enough good quarterbacks to go around.
Right. We're going to see. Kenny Pickett went out too today.
Kenny Pickett went out. So at least, and people say whatever about Trubisky, whatever, but he's at least an option. Like who was the guy that backed up Cousins? Hall or something? Jaron Hall.
He's a rookie from, I think,
he's a
6th round pick.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like
this is. Don't forget the 49ers lived a long time on Mr. Irrelevant. So being a 6th round pick is not the worst thing because I think that's when Brady was drafted, right? 6th round, something like that. So
299.
He's just a true 6th round pick.
But when Brady was picked, he wasn't picked in the 6th round. But there were 10 rounds back then.
Yeah.
Now he has. Okay, now this kid Hall has a chance to do what a Brock Purdy did.
Yeah.
Come in and take over. Who knows? He might be that guy. Coming in just like that. He doesn't take snaps with the first team during the week. He hasn't probably all season. So him coming into that game like that, he's lost. He's like a deer in headlights. You know what I'm saying? Now he's going to have a whole week because Cousins is done. He's going to have a week to get his act together. The other thing that you're going to be hearing pretty much very soon is should Brock Purdy take a seat and give Sam Darnold a chance?
No.
At quarterback.
I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know.
I'm not
Sam's
tapped the break
had a
on that, Scott.
pretty- dude, like Sam was drafted what, second overall?
Third.
Third.
So his entire career has been lousy system after lousy system.
Right. And
Now it's been a Shanahan system.
because of the system he was in.
I'd say let him cook, man. Give him a
I
shot.
say, you know what? I do believe that if Purdy continues the way he has been, Sam Darnold should get a shot because, like you said, he's been through how many coaches and offensive coordinators things like that throughout his career?
Carolina.
5 years in the league, he's had probably 8 different coordinators and coaches.
Just
You know what I'm saying? So now
Bunch.
he's in a system where he doesn't have to be that guy. He just has to follow the system.
Right.
And he's a California boy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I really believe that he has the abilities because Mike Tannenbaum, I think, former GM of the Jets, he was saying that the other day on the Greenberg show. Darnold has the ability. He just needs to be in a system that works for him.
Yes.
And anything he did with the Jets and the Panthers shouldn't be held against him.
Out the door, out the window.
You know what I'm saying? Give him a clean slate.
Yep.
Put him in there. Maybe Brock Purdy needs to take a step back for a little bit and reassess. I don't know. But again, I have no problems with our backup because I think Sam Darnold is an adequate backup. It's the other teams, like
The other
when
team.
the Jets lost Rodgers, because Zach Wilson is still awful.
Well,
now Cousins and
well, the Will Levis thing was a great story, right?
Levis.
But,
Yeah.
like, does
Levis,
that make?
I was impressed with Levis today, guys.
Well,
I mean,
does that make
seriously.
Tannehill tradable?
That makes
Like-
Tannehill sittable.
Well, yeah, but look, Minnie's going to be looking.
Yeah.
They're not going to like tank
They're
their
gonna. They're
season.
probably. Tuesday is the deadline.
Yeah.
So right now, I mean, but Tannehill's injured, but right now, who else is out there?
Yeah.
There really isn't much. And I think Tannehill stepping into Minnesota would be a good situation for Minnesota. Okay, but again, here's Will Levis. He stepped in, got his first opportunity.
4 touchdown passes in his
4
debut.
touchdown passes.
I was trying to remember, where did Will Levis transfer to Kentucky from? Where'd he start out
I
at?
don't remember, Ken. I don't remember, but
I don't know, but he resurrected DeAndre Hopkins today. That's for sure.
he
Yeah,
did.
he sure
Hopkins
did.
had 3 touchdown catches today as well. So
Hopkins had like 4 catches for 100 and some yards.
120 something yards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
good for D-Hop, man. I kind of don't like it because I kind of wanted him to have a lousy so he wanted to get out of Tennessee, but
because he
maybe
was
Levis-
trade bait too going into this
Yeah.
game.
Oh, he's told, and that's a good thing. Maybe now his stock is higher, so people will be, trading
And those-
more.
Yeah, don't sleep on Tennessee because if they get Henry going and Hopkins going and this Levis kid plays
Well,
the way
they
he did today,
They've had Henry on the trade block, but I don't know if they pull him off now.
they're not getting rid of Henry.
I mean, Will Levis today was 19 of 29, 238, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's 65% completion rate.
Correct. DeAndre Hopkins had 4 catches for 128 and 3 touchdowns.
Yep, he had over 35 fantasy points, I believe, today. Something in that neighborhood. But who else was pretty impressive today? This kid Trey McBride, the tight end for Arizona.
Yeah.
Man, he had a formidable game today, stepping in for Zach Ertz. Miami did what they do, but then again, it was New England. I know that kind of stings for John because New England beat Buffalo and then they turned around.
Yeah, it was awful.
But Miami didn't look that good, though. To be honest with you, they didn't look like world busters. Let's put it that way.
Tua turned the ball over.
Tua turned the ball over. Tyreek was Tyreek. I mean, that's just it is what it is.
That's money in the bank.
And they have Kansas City next week.
Kansas City in Germany, right?
Yes.
Frankfurt.
Miami,
Germans.
Kansas City, and Germany this week, yes.
Yeah. Somebody made a mistake last week and said that Miami's going to have to go and try to beat them in Arrowhead. Unless they're moving Arrowhead to
Well,
Germany.
that game actually, and there's a lot of people say that game should be at Arrowhead because of Tyreek Hill's homecoming, but
Yeah.
it was moved to Germany, so we'll see how that goes. But
Well, wouldn't it have been scheduled in Germany to begin with before the season? They're not
It
moved.
was.
It's already scheduled that way.
I think it's still a Kansas City home game, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah. Yeah, but, you know.
I wonder if Taylor will be going over.
Jacksonville rolled on again today against Pittsburgh.
Thank God the Steelers lost. And what's funny is that Jacksonville players stole terrible towels instead of flipping them around after that win. That was pretty freaking hilarious. Thank you, Jacksonville, for beating Pittsburgh. Again, it's hang on.
Trust me, I was mad at the Browns for not being Seattle either because Seattle should be 4-3 right now.
All right, well, the Browns are actually in third place in the division behind the Steelers because the Steelers have beat the Browns when they played them. So they're in third place.
They have the
You know
tie.
what? They're in good position. The Ravens are the best team in that division.
Well, you know, right now, yeah, you could say that, but again, this has been a trend, and watch out for the Bengals because they seem to have the train back on the tracks.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And when that team gets cooking, they can be dangerous to anyone.
Oh, it's killing me, man. We got to play them next Sunday, man.
In Cincinnati, right?
In Cincy, yeah. Jeez.
That's going to be a great game, John.
That is
No,
going
it's
to be
not.
great.
It's not going to be great.
No,
at
it's
all.
going
Are
to
you
be a
scared, John? Are
nerve-wracking-
you afraid the Bills are going to just blow it?
Dude, no, the Bills play down to their competition, man. Like, look at the decent teams they played this year. They play up. It's always the down teams that they just play down to. So they
Like
should
the
get
Patriots
up.
last week.
Yeah, like Patriots, like the three. Well, see, everyone's like, oh, they lost to the Jags. The Jags were there for 2 weeks in London. They were there for 24 hours or for
They
36
didn't have
hours.
to travel. They didn't have
And
to
the
travel.
Jags are a good team, man. I don't know if
They are.
anybody wants to admit it, but
Newsflash.
yeah.
But then they
so,
woke up because Jacksonville wasn't doing too good in the beginning. They finally got their act together, and it took a trip across the pond to get it done. You know,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I'm worried, but it is what it is, right? So
well, if it's anything like a usual Cincinnati Buffalo game, it ought to be interesting.
yeah, it'll be
Well, it should be interesting, without a doubt.
Oh my gosh. The
So-
birds.
so-
Why are the birds?
so-
The
So,
birds.
speaking of bad quarterback situations, who the hell is Vito, the guy for the Giants now? Because, by the way, Tyrod Taylor had another rib incident like he did in San Diego,
Yep.
which put Justin Herbert on the map.
They're really loud, huh?
And then they lost Waller today to a hamstring. So the Giants, they blew that game against the Jets, that's for sure. How do you let Zach Wilson drive down the field like that to tie the game?
Well, especially when it's the waning moments of the game, you let them. Zach threw 2 key passes to get them in field goal position at the end of the fourth quarter for them to tie it, and then defense stepped up and stopped the Giants, and then Zach took them down the field again, and they kicked the field goal to win the game. That's on Zach Wilson, guys. He didn't have a great game. He was only 17-36 for 240. He didn't have any picks, which is a plus. But Zach Wilson was the reason why the Jets won today. I'm sorry, he is.
Pull up the Giants net passing today.
No, it's the
Giants
Giants.
net passing,
Net
The Giants
passing.
were the reason the Jets won today.
8. Tyrod Taylor was 4-7 for 8 yards. Tommy DeVito
DeVito, there you go.
was 2 of 7 for -1.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mine was 9 yards passing today.
Total of
And that's
7
in
yards passing.
overtime. That's counting overtime too.
And they almost won.
Yeah.
They almost won.
That just goes to show you how bad New Jersey football is.
Thank you for saying New Jersey. I appreciate that, dude. I really do. That actually does mean a lot. So people recognize.
Well,
Thank you.
New Jersey is the New York colostomy bag.
Yeah,
You know?
That was definitely swamp gas today.
And like you said, you talked about Buffalo, and I think I mentioned this before too. They played down to the competition.
Yeah, they do.
Because even though they look really good, they let Tampa back in that game. And they were a split second away from losing that game because if Godwin turns around a second earlier, he catches that Hail Mary. You know, and that's the thing, man. I don't know how they don't. To me, that's a psychological thing, and that's a coaching thing. If you don't inspire your team to play their hardest every single week and get them mentally prepared to destroy the teams that they should be destroying, then you're going to run into that problem.
Well, the NFL Network and ESPN both say if Godwin had turned a half a second to see where the ball was, he would have caught that ball.
He would have caught it. It would have been.
And a lot of the pundits are saying it's the first time they've ever seen a Hail Mary pass actually hit the ground before anybody got a chance to hit it.
Nobody touched it. Nobody touched
that ball.
Pretty sad.
Just everyone could whine about the pass interference and stuff. I mean, you could have called. There was offensive pass interference. There was defensive pass interference. Like Hail Marys, are they ever going to call PI?
No, because that's just the way Hail Marys are. They're never going to call.
Not into the half, they won't.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Unless you got scab referees, then
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's blatant, and I mean, but no, they're not going to call pass interference on a Hail Mary, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not when everybody goes up for it.
The brotherly shove got stopped today. Did you see that?
Yeah. That's off to the Canadians,
but then they switched it up.
Yeah, they switched it up.
They still lost, but at least they stopped it.
Yeah.
Well,
I like the wrinkle that Philly put in there as the brotherly shove with the handoff as opposed to the reverse, whatever it was.
Well, yeah. I mean, once you get both teams down there in the trenches and that's all they're thinking about, all you got to do is hand it off to the running back, and he's got all the room in the world. Now, what did they say today?
That handoff and went untouched into the end zone after that.
Now, one of the announcers said, now the NFL has two things to worry about with Philadelphia.
They're not going to shut that play down, Elliot. It's not going to happen.
No, but again, now they have options.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now they have another option that, and from what I understand, they've been practicing that, and it paid off today. Washington plays them tough, that's for sure. They play Philly really every single time they play.
Yep.
But they just don't have enough to put them over the top against Philly.
Okay, Brett brings that up. Did you guys see that? Like what was it? The Carolina game?
Was it
the Texans?
Houston, Carolina.
Yeah, you're like two outside penalties in a row.
I think that was on purpose.
Oh yeah, that's why they called it.
To try and slow the clock down? Or stop the clock?
To screw it. Hey, he's whatever. Keep taking the 5-yard penalties. Maybe he'll miss one of these.
Right.
Like that's because everyone's like, oh, how many penalties are you going to do? And I'm like, look at the way he's lining up.
I think they issued the guy that did it twice in a row an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
They gave him, the second one. Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah.
Because
I think it was by design, man. I don't know.
They said he was intentionally trying to stop the clock.
Yeah. Gosh, why are the birds so annoying right now in my life? So frustrating.
New Orleans looked good today against Indianapolis. Kamara's back.
Absolutely, Kamara's back.
And that kid, that Shaheed kid looked really good today.
Mm-hmm.
Taysom Hill is back to doing Taysom Hill things. And that defense ain't half bad. So watch out for New Orleans in that NFC South.
Are the Colts one of the biggest enigmas in the league this year? I mean, they beat the snot out of the Lions last week and then lose to the Saints.
They beat the what? No, it was Baltimore.
Beat the snot. No, they beat the snot out of the Lions.
No, that was Baltimore.
Oh, wait a minute. Who?
Indianapolis lost on that bullshit pass
Indy,
interference.
they got
Oh,
beat by
that's right.
Cleveland with a
That's
bullshit
right.
pass
Yeah.
interference call.
Oh yeah.
That
Who was the
interference
Colts
call.
beat up a couple of weeks ago? Then they had one game where they destroyed somebody.
You know,
Well, the thing is that they were doing special things under Anthony Richardson. Now he's gone, and Minshew's a great fill-in, but he's too inconsistent
Right.
to take you all the way through. Eventually his deficiencies will show up. And when you're playing a defense like New Orleans, I mean, they still put up 27 points.
Yeah.
So that's kind of impressive against New Orleans because New Orleans has a better defense than that. But again, it all comes down to the fact. And now they got a running back situation with Taylor and Moss, and they don't know which receivers are which, and they don't have a tight end.
Oh my gosh, the birds are back.
the only game the Colts have won. I mean, the only games that the Colts have won was against the Titans, the Ravens, which was 22-19. And
So they lost that because the Ravens gave it away.
I mean,
Okay.
they really haven't dominated anybody. I mean, the Browns beat them by 1 point, and today the Saints beat them by 11. So, I mean, they really haven't dominated anybody. They play the Panthers next week, which the Panthers got their first win of the season again today against the Houston Texans. But
they weren't predicted to do much of anything in the preseason anyway, even with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they did as well as they did with Richardson in there, and they've shown a couple of good games with Minshew.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody expected anything out of Indianapolis this year. Did you?
No.
Not really.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact that they have 3 wins?
Who?
They have 2 wins?
The Colts?
2 wins.
Yeah. Are they 2-5 or 2-6 or 3-5 or what are they?
Yeah, they're 3-5.
3-5. Okay.
Right. So with 3 wins, I mean, that's about 2 more wins that they were expected to have all season. So, but their future kind of looks bright because that Anthony Richardson kid ain't no joke. That kid's got a future.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs to stop running. He needs to stop
Well, he's done
running
with the season, so he's out until next year.
Yeah. I'm just saying he needs to slow down on the running, especially to the outside, and he needs to get down. He takes too many freaking hits. He was out of games multiple times already because of the hits that he takes. And I'm sorry, but this ain't college. This is the NFL, and when you get hit by an NFL defender,
you're gonna feel it.
You're gonna feel it. And when it's you between an NFL defender and the ground, guess what? You're going to lose that battle. So I think right now Jacksonville is going to run away with that division because there's really no one else in that division that can.
There really isn't anybody else in that division that can match him. I agree.
No, not at all. I mean, Houston is second at 3-4, and they just lost to Carolina.
I mean, going into Pittsburgh at Acrisure/Heinz Field and putting up 20 points against the Steelers and only allowing 10 points. That's a pretty decent statement since they went in there at Pittsburgh. Jacksonville is for real. They
didn't have a great offensive game except for Etienne, I think.
Right.
But their defense makes up for a lot of that too.
It does.
Because they got Oluokun, they got what's his name, Rashad Jenkins. They got they got a stacked defense, and quite honestly, I mean, if they didn't have the game they lost to Kansas City, that was awful. They could have won that game.
They could have. They should have.
Right now we could be looking at Jacksonville as the number 1 team in the NFL. Had they not had a slow start.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring Brett's question up. Do we write the Vikings off now that Cousins is out for the season?
Yes.
This is why I think they will look to do something quarterback wise.
Got to.
They have to.
Well, they only got like less than 48 hours to get it done.
Yeah, they got the Tuesday is the trade deadline. Jaron Hall replaced Cousins today and finished the game 3 of 4 for 23 yards.
But here's the thing: what happened? Who's the backup behind him?
That's
the
the
problem.
thing. That's
Nick
the problem. Nick Mullins, right?
Yes,
So they need to go out and find somebody. You're right. And the only one out there is who? Tannehill.
Yeah.
I mean,
do they go after Ryan Tannehill? Do they go after another quarterback? Maybe Jacoby Brissett?
Jacoby Brissett's an option.
I mean, Brown's Twitter is all about going after Jacoby, bringing him back into the franchise to take over for the Browns. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know because
that receiving core for Minnesota can make a lot of quarterbacks look good.
Sure, but Jefferson's out. He's injured.
He'll be back. But Addison hasn't.
Addison is
Addison had a great game today.
And
Yeah.
Osborne.
The beat. Osborne. How about Hawkinson?
This was another thing that was talking about today on the Fantasy Sports show. They were like, what does Kirk Cousins do? He got the ball to Steph Diggs all the time. He got the ball to Dalvin Cook all the time. He got the ball to Justin Jefferson all the time. Pretty sure he even got the ball to AP when AP was there. I mean, all this guy does is get the ball to playmakers.
Even that kid Brandon Powell, that's been showing a little bit of flash the last couple of games.
You got the ball to Adam Thielen.
Got the ball to Adam Thielen. I mean, that's what Kirk Cousins is. He the flashiest guy out there? No. But he's
the most. I mean, he's very likable. I love Kirk Cousins.
He's week in and week out. You know what he's going to give you.
If you've seen the Cousins documentary, it's a great watch. It really.
Well, here's the thing. Why do you think if they picked RG3 with what, the number 3 pick, the number 2 pick, was it right?
Like 2.
And then they went out and got Kirk Cousins right. They drafted 2 quarterbacks in the same draft.
Yeah.
And eventually, it turned out that Cousins was actually better than RG3. Why did they get rid of him?
Brett, neither one of those quarterbacks are going to be picked up by any team in the NFL. I'm telling you.
What quarterback?
Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco, and
Matt
Carson
Ryan Matt Ryan says he's happy where he is with CB.
Yes.
He's got a cushy studio position in the booth.
He ain't going back.
Exactly.
Carson Wentz is a bum. He's not going
Carson
anywhere.
Wentz is a bum. Okay, they might as well just let this Hall kid ride it out for the rest of the season.
And Joe Flacco is done. He's also done. He's too old.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Don't you think that if those guys were worth it, the Jets would have got them by now?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I hope Minnie thinks they're done so that they can start unloading people. Because I would love the Bills to go and get Harrison Phillips back to the Buffalo Bills. That would be fantastic.
Harrison Phillips.
Our one tech is very, very, very weak right now. We don't have.
Oh, what, your defense?
Yeah. Like like Daquan Jones is gone. Tim Settle and Jordan Phillips are not the answer for run stuffing. Harrison Phillips knows the system.
Yeah.
We drafted him.
I agree, John. I agree that the Bills' defense is right now their Achilles heel.
Can you imagine Danielle Hunter on the Buffalo Bills?
Well, no. It's what I'm thinking is guys that plug right into the Bills play a very weird, unique defense, and it's the Sean McDermott system. So you got to find guys. That's why they said last year Dean Marlowe is the only trade we made, and Nyheim Hines. But like defense was Dean Marlowe. Why? Because he was on the Bills the previous season. He plugs right into the defense. You don't need to. So I think they're going to unload Kaiir Elam somehow and take a loss on that, and then try to shore up some maybe linebacker. But I think one tech they definitely need.
In my opinion, besides Denver winning against Kansas City today, the best part of that whole game is no Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch it. This is the best thing about Red Zone, man. You don't have to pay attention to what else is going on. It's just like, oh look, they're in the red zone. Beautiful.
Yeah, but even Red Zone will show Taylor Swift.
Yeah, well, they have to because it's all planned. It's all planned.
But
It's all a way to
it was just
separate
nice
us.
not to see her there. I'm glad she's afraid of the cold.
Unbelievable.
And how many more commercials does Travis Kelce need to do?
God, I am so sick
not
of
just
him.
Travis, but his brother as well, Jason as well.
Yes,
I'm
and
starting.
their mother.
I'm freaking puking all of a sudden when I see Travis Kelce. I
I'm
mean,
so-
every single
I'm so
commercial.
over him and the Chiefs and
McCarthy,
Taylor Swift.
Mahomes, Auto. He's got the freaking the commercial with Brad Halsey about Experian debit.
Mhm.
I mean, he's everywhere.
He's got the commercial about the COVID shots.
He's starting to nauseate me.
He is. He's extremely nauseating.
So, what about tonight's game? That's going to be a ho hum.
Tonight's game, I could care
Was it
less.
Chargers
Bears
and
and
who?
Chargers. That's going to be
Bears,
that's gonna
Bears
be
and
tomorrow.
Chargers. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a barn burner.
Is a barn burner.
Oh,
For
I
you
get to
guys.
go to sleep early tonight, just like tomorrow.
dude,
Raiders at the
listen,
Lions.
Raiders
I-
Lions tomorrow night.
You
I
think
I just
the
say I'm
Raiders
glad I'm
got-
shooting pool
hey,
tomorrow night
if
because
you
I
think the Raiders-
couldn't
if
be. I mean,
If you think the Raiders got waxed by Chicago last week, watch what the Lions are going to do to them after they got destroyed by Baltimore.
the Lions are pissed off after that butt kicking they got against the Ravens last week.
that's
I do
ridiculous.
not like the Raiders' chances at all.
I don't either. That would be.
Just to let you know, you're happy because the Patriots are in last place in your division.
Yeah, but I wanted them to win today. Like, jeez.
Really?
Like, of course. Miami's
Miami?
Miami's public enemy number one because they're good.
Right now,
Yeah, they're a game ahead of you in the division right now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, so I would have loved the Patriots to win. The Patriots aren't going to do anything. Like Mac Jones is whatever, like what I can't believe we lost them, but it's like whatever. It's divisional game. It's it's toss up, but I needed them to win today. But yeah,
So
the
let's
fact
do-
that they're in the basement is fine.
Let's do a
I'm
little
okay.
preview. Let's do a little preview for next week. Thursday night, Tennessee at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh wins that one. They're
I
at
don't know,
home.
man.
I don't
This
know.
might be the
Will
Will
Levis
Levis.
starts for Tennessee. I don't think it's going to be that way.
The Will
Yeah.
Levis, DeAndre Hopkins coming out.
Well,
Well, you know what? If Pickett is out, I don't think Trubisky takes them to a victory. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Miami, Kansas City.
I
You think
want
Kansas-
KC to win, obviously.
I'm pulling. I kind of mixed feelings on that, but yeah.
I see a tie.
Yeah, ideal situation, right?
It ought to be a barn burner. The Atlanta Falcons hosting the Minnesota Vikings.
Dude.
The
Mm.
quarterback in that game.
Nobody cares. No one cares.
Arizona at Cleveland.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like, think of the quarterback matchups you just laid out.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Desmond Ritter, like
You got
Mhm.
well, maybe Ritter, maybe Heineke because he came in today for Ritter. So Ritter and Hall. Even the Thursday night one could be Trubisky and Levis. I mean, Levis had a great
Oh,
granted, okay, but he's got to show me 2 in a row.
Buffalo and Cincinnati Sunday night football. That's going to be a great game.
God.
Here's another snoozer: the
And then
Rams,
the Chargers and the
Rams-
Jets on Monday night.
the Rams and the Packers. That's going to be one awful game. Jordan Love and whoever the hell the quarterback is for the Rams now. I think it's time for me to trade Puka Nacua.
Puka had a pretty good game today.
Who?
Puka.
He only had 4
Puka
catches.
Nacua.
He only had
Yeah.
4 catches for 37 yards or something like that.
Yeah,
35 yards.
How about this one?
He had 2 or 3.
Dallas at Philadelphia next
Yeah.
week.
Oh, that's interesting. That's definitely going to be interesting.
That's
That's
America's game of the week next
So it's
week.
a late game,
game of the week.
and that'll be the focus of most
Oh.
of America.
I'm glad that's the game of the week because who the hell wants to see the Giants and the Raiders?
Or the Colts in Carolina, for that matter.
Colts and Carolina.
Mm.
Tampa and Houston. Seattle and Baltimore to be a good game.
That will be a good game. I hope Seattle can beat them like they beat the Browns.
Seattle is no joke.
Who do the Niners have next week?
The Niners?
I think they're on a bye next week, aren't they?
Are they buying next week?
Yeah,
we-
they are.
Okay.
Yeah, Niners are on a bye next week.
Thank goodness. They
Today
made-
was the last week with no buys until December.
No, there's week 12. Week 12 doesn't have any buys either. Well, if week
I
12,
don't think we had buys today, did we?
there were no buys today,
No buys today, Ken.
and I don't think there's any buys in week 12 either.
Hmm.
Nope, no
Interesting.
buys in week 12. 8 and 12.
That's November 23rd through the 20th. That's Thanksgiving weekend, actually.
So next week, the Broncos, Lions, Niners, and Jaguars are off on a bye.
Mm.
The Los Angeles Chargers at the Jets on Monday Night Football.
God, it's going to be terrible.
They should flex that game.
Another AFL game.
Move Philadelphia and Dallas to Monday.
Move Philadelphia, Dallas to Monday night as opposed. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Flex that game, yeah.
I'm sure NBC will, Fox will be really receptive to that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hey, Scott,
Yes,
can I do one of the warm and fuzzy moments, man?
sure. Go ahead.
Sure.
So, I don't know if you guys saw. It happened over in Europe, European League. Adam Johnson, who was a NHL
Yeah.
player,
Yes.
he was killed playing the game. The skate
Yeah,
came
sliced.
up and sliced his neck,
Did
man.
it slices?
Yeah.
Did it slice his artery?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
he bled. He bled out. Like they got him off the ice. He skated off the ice, but yeah,
bled
man,
out,
that's
probably.
like memories of Clint Malarchuk for
Right.
me.
No kidding.
And that's something I don't think has ever happened.
Mm-mm.
Maybe it has, but not in professional leagues and stuff. And,
No.
Right.
dude, that like
We also lost a friend this week,
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
yeah.
What is it with the Perry name? That Luke Perry, Matthew Perry.
Don't know.
Regarding Matthew Perry, I don't know if you guys. The '90s for Friends was that's one of the classic TV shows of all time. A lot of us growing up not growing up, but during that time in our 30s, really related to that show. Friends was a great show.
Mhm.
Had a great
And
cast.
to be honest, Matthew Perry was my favorite character. Not Tyler. I'm sorry.
Chandler.
Chandler.
Chandler Bing.
Chandler was my favorite character because of his sarcasm, his humor, and the way he was portrayed on that show.
That whole cast was amazing. Jennifer Aniston.
The
The whole
Mhm.
cast is great. And another thing is that Matthew Perry ended up on a couple episodes of The West Wing as well. I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm sure Ken does. But Matthew Perry dealt with addiction his whole life.
Alcohol and opioids.
Alcohol and drugs. And apparently, from what I've seen, the rumor is he drowned in it at home, whether it was a
Yeah.
pool, pond,
No, it was his hot tub.
in his hot tub.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. He was only 54 years old, for God's sake. Way too young. So, my sympathies and my thoughts are with his family. And just my favorite character on Friends. He really was. And Chandler was the epitome of sarcasm and humor and laughing at himself, as well as the actor that portrayed him, because he was the same. Matt Perry was Chandler off screen as well as on screen. That was the things that I've seen.
Mhm.
His character was actually him, and I'm sad, and I don't want to bring the show down because John hates it when I do that. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay.
Richard Mall died too.
But yeah, John, the hockey player that died in England. It was an on ice incident. It was an accident, It was freak.
It was a freak accident.
Yeah.
Was it an accident? Because dude launched at him. Like, I don't think he intended to kill him,
Well,
but
I
he
haven't seen the
intended
video,
to
so I
injure.
don't know.
That's an accident. Because
I haven't seen the video.
premeditated, that guy would be in a prison.
Oh, he launched at him. You look at the replay.
Wow.
He launched at him and kicked his leg up.
And Bull from Night Court does.
If he launched at him, that could be a ban.
No, dude.
That could be a criminal.
Involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah, it's It'd be involuntary because there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way. Like, it's not like I'm gonna go and kill a guy today on hockey
Right.
ring.
Right.
But it sucks, dude. 29 years old and shit. Like, yeah, it's. But I'm trying to think. Like, obviously, the first thing that comes to my head is Clint Malarchuk.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes. Like him holding his neck, blood just gushing,
Yes.
and he just get like that's memories of that.
And
Seeing that,
right.
I was just like, holy.
And the Buffalo announcer going nuts.
Yeah, dude. That sucks, man.
And Ken Nostradamus Kozlow, who predicted that the Houston Astros would be playing the Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series, got that one right.
When did I say that?
Last week. You were the one that said,
I don't remember.
I hope
I
the
don't remember
Phillies
saying
destroy
that.
the Astros when they wind up in the World Series. As a matter of fact, you renamed yourself to Nostradamus. Because
I did, but it wasn't because of that. I didn't
That wasn't about his prediction. What was that about?
No, his prognostication. He said that he hopes since it's apparent that it's going to be Philly and Houston in the World Series, I hope the Phillies destroy the Astros. That's what he said. We can read the replay.
I would love to see the replay of that.
Yeah, let's
Please
do
do.
the replay. I'm throwing a red flag.
I'll even throw the red flag on
I'm throwing
that.
a red flag on that.
I want to see
What
that.
was your prediction, Ken?
My prediction was the Rangers would beat the Diamondbacks in 6 games.
So why was
I
you dumbass? What was the reason for the dumbass?
He called me Nostradamus, and I said, no, it's more like Nostradamus, but
Yeah, because you made the comment. Okay.
I don't remember making that comment.
Yeah, well, you did. You made the comment that said, since it's obviously going to be the Phillies and the Astros, I hope the Phillies destroy the Astros in the World Series.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that video.
That's when I put out there after both teams didn't make it, the Nostradamus comment.
I do not remember that at
I
all.
wanted to put that out there if you hadn't said that.
Where's that red flag? I want to see that.
I already threw it, man. I'm waiting for the official to come back with the camera.
I'm waiting too.
But considering the World Series as it has gone so far, technically Arizona should be up 2-0.
Technically, what?
They kind of blew that first game,
Yep,
and then they destroyed the Texas Rangers in Game 2.
they did.
I'm telling you, man.
I think they'll win Game 3 also.
Arizona.
Then they'll be it.
Yeah, they got Fott pitching.
Mm-hmm.
That kid Fott.
Against Scherzer.
Scott's playing with pussy on the camera.
Yeah.
Say hi, Groot.
That's
Say hi, Groot.
Hey, Groot. So what happened? Hey, how about a shout out to the national team from South Africa for winning the Rugby World Cup this weekend?
Oh yes, I saw that.
That was an amazing finish to it.
Yay, South Africa!
Have you guys been watching the NBA this week?
Not at all.
Not at all.
You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because Jimmy Butler, in the third game of the season, took a day off. I'm completely done. And you know what's crazy? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get back into basketball this year. I took a couple years off because of these prima donna a-hole athletes that are in the league. But you know what? I'll get back into it. Raptors win their first game of the year, looking good. They lose the next 2, whatever. And then I hear this Jimmy Butler news. Jimmy Butler's the guy who made fun of dudes taking nights off.
Right.
And he's taking third game of the season off. No, I'm done. It's NBA, and they had the worst ratings in decades for their openings.
I actually bought the team NBA pass this year for the Cowboys.
Get your refund. Say, you know what? How about this? How about every time that the star I want to watch takes a night off, you guys give me some money back?
Tell you what, Wembanyama is the real deal. It's fun to watch that kid.
Oh, Wemby,
He's gonna break a leg and he's gonna be done, man. It's like he's such a stick. Weird seeing him. Like he blocks
Greg
everything.
Oden, huh?
He's
That's Greg Oden. Thank you, Ken. I was wondering where I was going. I was trying to remember the guy's name. Thank you, Ken.
At least Greg Oden was like a big dude, like you know,
Yeah.
he was kind of glass Josh, but like, I just see Wembanyama,
Wembanyama.
that guy.
Just call
I
him
just
Wemby.
I want to see him. You could just see him, his legs snapping when he goes up.
I don't think so.
Okay.
He plays a smart game. I think he prides himself on the defensive side. Plus, he plays a lot of perimeter. He doesn't mix it up with the big guys like most centers would. But then again, he's not your atypical center either.
The guys can shoot from three. He's got a full package in his game right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw him nutmeg a defensive player the other day. He took a steal and then came up the court and nutmegged this defender, and this went in for a. Well, I think he passed the ball off, but it was a clear nutmeg. They had to go back and watch it on the replay. Go, did I see what I thought I saw? Yes, you did.
Yeah, and the benefit for Wembanyama is that he wound up with San Antonio with
Greg
Popovich.
Popovich is his coach. Yes.
Tim Duncan with Ginobili. Ginobili and David Robinson. All of them are mentoring him. You know what I'm saying? Teaching him the ins and outs of the game. And he did something the other day that not even I think the last person to do that was Tim Duncan. I don't remember exactly what the accomplishments were, but he played a hell of a game. And I think he's going to be fine. I think 3 years from now, after he's developed,
he needs to build up some muscle because if you look at him, he's really skinny.
that could hurt
really
him.
skinny.
So you think, I think if he naturally grows, everybody eventually naturally expands. Okay.
He's only 19?
Yeah, he's
But
19.
I think that if they try to bulk him up, that would change the dynamic of his game. Because he likes to get out in the fast break. He likes to move around and run the ball. He doesn't like to get in there and ground and pound like typical centers do, like a Porzingis or somebody of that nature. Anthony.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, if he's smart about the way he plays, look, if somebody's going to get injured, they're going to get injured whether they're big or they're skinny. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it goes. But if you know how to play, you know your body, and you know how to use your body to the best of your ability, then you should be fine. And I don't think they're going to put him in positions where he could get himself hurt.
I don't think so.
Freak accident, maybe? Yeah.
Well, Pop's not that stupid.
No, he's not.
So who's watching the Heritage Classic? Nobody? No, didn't think so. You're such a hockey fan, Scott. Like just a diehard hockey fan.
The
I can
Heritage
tell.
Classic. You mean the outside venue with the Oilers?
What they're doing right now, yes, sir. Second period.
Who are they playing?
Are the Oilers
Calgary.
Calgary?
What's that?
Are the Oilers playing?
Oilers in Calgary, man. Battle of
They're playing-
Alberta outside.
They're playing in Commonwealth?
Yeah, in
Almost
Commonwealth. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice night in Alberta too. So it's not like the first one they had there where it was minus 20. Yeah. Oilers are up 3-1.
I see the Vegas Knights lost an overtime game to Chicago the other day.
Yeah.
Or
First loss of the year.
They're still. How do they do that? Okay, so you get a tie and not a loss, right? If you lose in a
Right.
shootout.
Yes.
Still-
Overtime
Still
loss.
get a point. But
Yeah.
Right. So technically, they're now 8-0-1.
something like that. Yeah.
Is that correct?
Heritage Classic in Edmond, Alberta, Canada. The Oilers are currently up 3-1
Yes, sir.
in the second period.
Yes, sir.
Wow, I didn't know the Oilers were doing that bad this season.
Oh, they're horrible. They have had a horrible start to the year. Like, just awful. Worst. McDavid
They're
got
1-5
hurt,
to start the season, John. What the hell's going on?
Only the
it's-
Sharks are worse than they are.
They have no defense and no goaltending.
Well, this is on TBS. No wonder I can't see it.
And the Bruins are off to that hot start, so they can get swept in the playoffs in the first round this year again.
Just get into the dance, man. Get into the dance.
Sabres won 4-0 to do.
Montreal.
Connor Bedard going here. Let me take a look and see. Chicago is last in their division, even with Connor Bedard on their team.
Cool.
Well, you don't think
if
Connor
anyone was
Bedard-
thinking, like,
I mean, he ain't parting any Red Seas or anything like that.
yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah.
But hey, you guys got a chance to tie Calgary.
Yeah. Well, if they're 30th, we're 31st in the league. Only worst team is like San Jose. It's like,
Yeah.
it's great.
San Jose's 0-8-1.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Good job.
I saw the Oilers. I can't remember who their Oilers were playing the other night, but I looked at their lineup for the start of the game, and they had Draisaitl in the third line.
Really?
Wow. I go,
Well,
they had
Connor was
David.
out last week, right? Like
Yeah.
So he wasn't playing for. But he's playing in this one.
Yeah.
I need the Bears to shut down Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen tonight.
It's not going to happen.
I don't think so.
They can't combine for 40 points tonight.
I think Chargers win that one.
Jeez.
I hope they win. I mean, if they win, they win. I just don't need those two to score a combined 40 points.
I'll never understand the Justin Herbert love ever, but whatever.
Is he an elite quarterback, John, in your mind?
It's like I love Sean Merriman, okay? Like, but he's always on Twitter talking about how Justin Herbert's one of the top 5 quarterbacks and he's not number 5.
Well, he hasn't proven anything.
The
He
choke
hasn't done
artist.
anything. Isn't that a
He's a
thing? He hasn't
choke
won
artist.
anything. Whatever. Cares.
All right, fellas, it's 8:32. It's time to get out of here.
All right, there you go.
And then
Big
Tom.
flash to our audience. Effective the week of November 6th, the Sports Nerds will be on air, whether it's just me and Elliot, or all 4 of us. The Sports Nerds will be on air 3 times a week. In addition to our Sunday broadcasts, it'll be also Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. if that's okay with Elliot, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we're gonna do about anywhere from a half an hour to an hour just to catch up on just to be out there. So join us. If you don't, that's okay. Watch the replays. But as for tonight, I want to thank my co-host, Mr. Ken Koslow, Mr. John G. Olson, and Mr. Elliot Big E Lamba, and all you guys that are watching the live show as well as the replay. We are out, and we'll see you next Sunday on the Sports Nerds at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Elliot, hit the outro.
Well, there you have it, Nerd Nation. Another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we are still alive to tell about it. Now, on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? And his co-host, John Olson, Ken Costello, lovable members in the Rat Pack, and yes, me, Big E, the entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of Sports Smack Talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we would like to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. And for heaven's sake, please wear a damn mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Rat Pack. And with that, fellas, we are out.